Hello again, everybody. Sebastian Keynes here with another Watch Our Realms video. In this one, I'm back here in the test server, and I actually do want to talk to you about Jira again. If you saw my first video on Jira, I very specialized it to the guild boss, Drake's Chasm more specifically, but whatever the build that I showcased there was also going to be applicable for Samra. So if you want to use it for the guild bosses, go ahead and go get her in your best IR set or Soulbound Arcana set and just have her do the damage that you need. Build her in an attack specialized build for that specific content. But she is a hybrid, so you can actually utilize other sets that are in the game. For this example, though, I actually went with the Glacier because one of the benefits of the Glacier is that if we build up her HP, then we can get some attack bonus out of it, okay? So I also put her in an Immortal set just to bump up that HP. Her overall build as a whole is to try to get some crit damage into the, but make sure that her crit rate is capped. And I did try to get at least some speed on the build as well. So you can see here that I pretty much did 2 HP bonus pieces with 1 crit damage. Luckily, there was some crit rate, attack speed, rage regeneration in some of these pieces. So that kind of rounded up her build as best as I could. So her overall stats for this example is going to be that she's at about 106k when it comes to HP. Her attack is only about 12.8, and usually my rule with attacker or fighters is to go 3 times their base attack, but in this example I just looking at about 2 times. So she's not going to hit hard, but she will still do some damage. 290 attack speed, 216 critical damage. Luckily for me here, I was able to get some rage regen, but that really, the rage regeneration is only going to become applicable or going from the first one to the second one, because when the second one is activated, then it becomes a permanent. So if you just found this video and you haven't seen my first one, that is exactly what her ultimate does. With her ultimate, you're going to restore 75% of your HP. Not only that, you're going to gain even more, and you're going to deal a little bit more damage, and the attack interval is also going to increase, so we're going to get a little bit more of an attack speed. And it says here that this lasts for 20 seconds, and if you get this to be activated a second time, then she becomes permanently activated in this mode. It's going to be in the transfer resolve mode, and she will just continually do the damage, and she will also have that high HP. Now with her talent, you can see here the max HP increases by 30%, so there's a little bit more wiggle room in terms of her survivability. And then the higher the hero's vulnerability, that goes up to 30%. Her basic attack just hits 1 enemy. One of the nice things about her is that every 4th attack, she would have some defense penetration, so she'll do some additional damage. And she is also going to take some damage herself. And anytime that she takes damage, she will take that back to the enemy and do extra damage. So that's pretty much what the retribution here will do. Now, one of the things, at least for this example, is I haven't seen the retribution debuff icon come up yet. So we're assuming that this is working as intended, but it is something that as of the making of this video, we are waiting to hear from the developers if that is the case, that there's supposed to be a debuff that shows that she is applying the retribution. So that is what makes her great, is that in a sense, if she takes damage, she'll revert that back and do more damage upon that target. Now, she does have a specialized arena aura where she would get some extra damage, so you can use her in single target attack if you have the Arbor comp, or you want to specialize a Northern comp for that specific content, okay? All right, so now with this build. Oh, and one more thing about this build. because of the new artifact that we have, the key of the Forsaken, I decided to take advantage of this and get her to stack up more HP while she is in the field. So essentially what we're doing is that we are going to make sure that she survives. Now here, I wouldn't use her in gear rated 1 unless you're desperate, but I just want to, here, let me make sure the power of dominance is off. Now, for this example here, I'm just going to show you how stubborn she can be in terms of dying, if you can get her to activate that specific her ultimate. So here, let me speed this up a little bit. Here, we're not going specifically for clearance or anything like that. All I want to show you is that even in this type of builds, she can do some damage and she will be strong enough. I can't remember if I geared this heroes. We'll find out. But you can see here, so one of the things I'm going to be waiting for is hopefully this ultimate comes on so we can increase our HP. Okay, there we go. So there we go. So we'll do that. All right, now let's see if we can do some damage here. Help her out, because I wanna see how long she can last. This is what I usually do with now, any other fighter would just be too fragile. With this, this is the type of comparison that I do something like with Elder. She's kind of the same as him. Elder survivability is primarily because of his shields. She has this passive and this ultimate that just gives her all that extra HP that she needs. Okay, so now I'm dying because I forgot to put my healer down. So let me make sure that, or at least we're doing that. But look, I mean, she's really hard to kill. The amount of healing increases because now she has the more HP there. She did succumb to it, but she is stubborn to bring out. Any other fighter would have just not made it at all in this situation here. So she is strong in this type of build. Now, what would I use her for with this specific build? Well, there are a couple of examples here that I can think about. One is if you get her and you want to use her as kind of a tank in AMR to try to clear this content. Let me see here. So I think that this is one that everybody saw right away with her kit and said, oh, we're just going to make her tank. So, but I can actually, given the stats that I gave her, you're going to probably see that she can actually hang a little bit with this boss as well. So here we are. Now, here's the thing too. If you are mid-game, early mid-game, and you were lucky enough to get her going into late game and you haven't cleared 18 yet, you can actually put her in a build, an attack-based build, just like I did with the Guild Boss one, IR set, Soulbound Arcana set, and just use her on the sides, right? And flank the boss here, and then just use a tank, a normal tank, and she will do some very good damage if that's what you need her to do for this. But if you wanted to use her in this situation type here, where she is just going to be a little here, let me see if I can rev up her rage a little bit, because I want that ultimate to become activated. And so you can see that she's doing very well. Now we're gonna add more HP. Let me put Elder here. I hope that these guys are geared, because I want her to sustain this battle. So look at the damage. I mean, she's not going quick, but she's doing a phenomenal job. Even with the build that I gave her. Not a whole lot of crit damage, not a whole lot of attack, but she is doing the job right now. All right, let's see if she can hang. Alo's trying to help her out. Now, I don't want to... Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to boost again the Rage with Hollow and see if I can get this second ultimate to come on. I did. All right, so she'll restore her health. There we go. And now we'll go for round 2. Now, here's the thing. Now, this is going to be persistently on. So, the max, that boosting health that she got, she'll retain it. And now, also, because she's getting hit in that passive, this is the thing, is I'm waiting, you know, should we see a retribution debuff here? I'm assuming that's what we're assuming is happening, though. That she's applying the debuff, and as she takes the damage, she pretty much puts it back on them. All right, let me put somebody here just to make sure. And we're almost done. I think the boss already made his move. It looks like a safe run if you can get her. If you can keep healing her, you can get her to keep rebuilding that rage, get her to the second ultimate, get her all that health. She does the job as a tank. So you can definitely use her in that regard if you need her to help you clear AMR 18. Okay, the other example on how I would imagine you using her in this hybrid, in this other mode, in this other particular build where we are making her a little bit tanky, would be something like this. The Void Rift epilogue will be opening soon in the global server. Forerunner server have had the chance to toy around with it, so we kind of know what to expect now that we have encountered this content. But for this purposes here, I'm going to show you exactly how I would use her for something like this. So typically tanks are just there to, you know, make sure that our fighters are well taken care of. So for this case here, I am going to use her kind of as a tank, but somebody that can provide additional damage to, in addition to somebody like this boss here, the Dark Rasak, and make sure that we can bring people down. So let me make sure here. So now we're going to activate this. Now in this particular stage, for those of you that are going to get a chance to encounter this, you are going to have to clear it within the specified time up here. And if we don't kill him within this, he'll just blow us away and then the battle is over. All right, so here we go. Let's try to activate this. See if we can get this going. And that's how much damage we're doing. It's decent, given the type of heroes that we're using here, especially with Jeera. So we're gonna activate her ultimate, and he does go down. Now I'm gonna retrieve everybody. Get ready for the second round. Now in this case here, I'm gonna use Elder. And let's bring in Aquarius to help us out. Now, first thing is first, I'm going to have him do his move. Okay, and then we're going to do this. Let's do this. Okay, so that, let's see if we can get some heals. Valkyra is ready again. Let's do some damage. Here we go. And let's heal her. Okay, let's slow this down a little bit because I want to see how many times we get hit. All right, we almost made it, but we did not. All right, let's bring somebody else in. Elder's going to help me out again. We got 21 seconds. Okay, and okay, here we go. And then here we go. Okay, everybody is done. We're good. All right, now we go back to the bottom. Now here we go. I'm going to bring her in again, and she's going to kind of be my tank for this last portion of it. Now I'm going to need LOM for this. And let's start doing some damage. I think Alistair might die, but that's okay. Hopefully we have time to bring everybody else back. Okay, so here is where I am have to deal with this anti-heal effect. So let me clean this up a little bit. And see if I can recover from this. All right. So she's being stubborn, which is good because that's what I need her to be right now. And okay, now let's activate this ultimate. Get her to restore. So she didn't restore all of her health because of this anti-heal, but it's something that we have to deal with. All right, let's do some damage. Let's do some damage. And then we're gonna have Elder as a backup here. Let's heal if all possible. And so that's what I'm trying to use her for here. Unfortunately, this last portion here, that anti-heal does complicate things a little bit. So that's why I'm trying to make sure the healer doesn't help. Okay, so we got to revive. We got to revive. That's good. All right. All right, so it's going to hang her up, but it's going to hang me. I'm actually going to run out of time, I think. But the point stands. I mean, this is how I would exactly use her in terms of a battle like this, a bass battle like this, to try to make sure that we bring everybody down, or bring somebody like this down, and get an additional damage from the tank as well. So let me see if I can do this. And I don't think we're going to make it, but it was a valiant effort by the fellows, by her. She almost made it to the end, but that's exactly how I would approach her in terms of using her as a tank. So she is good in both situations. You can use her as a straight out attacker, or you can use her as somebody that can tank for you, and she can do some damage as well. So this is one of those heroes that you really have to specialize your build for, and you got to understand how you're going to want to use her. Her flexibility, I think, is what makes her great in the game, and that's why you are going to be able to use her in this format, or how we usually use any other of the fighters that we have in this game. So I think that she comes into that class with Elder, where we can use them as a tank or a pure damage dealer. She can be a great boss damage dealer because of her retribution. So use her in Guild Boss in the attack-based build that I had shown previously. And in some situations like this, where you need somebody to really fortify things for you, and you can have fighters that have a long-range extension, add additional damage on top of what she's doing, that's what she's going to excel at as well. So that's kind of my second build that I would suggest for her in the type of situations where you would then use for this particular build. So if you have any questions in regards to Jeera, please post them down below. I will also make sure to link the other video that I made on her on the Guild Boss, because that required a different build, like I said. And please do remember to hit like and subscribe if you did appreciate the content. And I will see you all next time in the next Watcher Realms video.
Together, we are the shield.